Flip the Venue is proudly brought to you by Alberta and Diz Group. Flip the Venue would like to thank Alfie's Hair Salon for Sarah's hair and makeup, Elizabeth Frankie, Diz Group for Sarah's clothes, and Vortex for Bjorn and Damian's clothes.
Celebrating milestones in life is important, but what's more important is how they bring people together. Welcome back to Flip the Venue, where we create to inspire and hope you, our viewers, take a piece of this inspiration forward to your next event. My name is Sarah Young and I welcome you to my show. This week is a little bit different as we have with us a very special international name in the events industry, a designer to the stars flown in from Los Angeles, USA. As a result, the show will be spoken in English with respect to our English-speaking guests and international audiences. We've spent months working behind the scenes to make this happen, and it is so very exciting to welcome Edgardo Zamora from Riverie to the expert team. So, who is Edgardo Zamora? He is the go-to premier Hollywood event designer to celebrities and high-profile clients. To name drop just a few, although he hates it, to paint a picture of what he really does, we are talking of the Kardashians, he does everything for them, Brad Pitt, Justin Bieber, J-Lo, Oprah, Beyonce, Rihanna, Madonna, and the list goes on and on and on. We are truly in the presence of a designer royalty. He doesn't stop here. His portfolio of clients include television and movie events such as Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, the Academy Awards, the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys. I have to stop somewhere, but with 500 annual events in hotels in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and in private estates throughout the globe, it is truly a pleasure and honor to have Edgardo with us on Flip the Venue. Thank you, Edgar.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We are so honored to have you here. It's been amazing working with you. You fit like a glove. You've become a closer friend than we were. We've been friends now for quite a while, but this Flip the Venue has brought us closer in good and bad times, in good moods and bad moods. I think it's been a whirlwind of everything, but we've managed to work really well together.
Excellent.
Yes.
Was a pleasure for me also to be here in Malta. You invite me to your country, and I can't say enough of how grateful I am to be here.
It's my pleasure, our pleasure to have you, not you. So, before we go on further and show you the amazing flip we're going to do today, I am going to leave you to see a little bit more info on the venue we are working in today.
Nestled in the very heart of Valletta, this venue is the perfect example of everything that Malta's capital city represents. Built mid-17th century for the French knight, the eponymous Hostel de Verdalin is a fine example of early Baroque architecture, and whose facade, reputed as one of the finest in Malta, is listed as a Grade 1 national monument. This venue provides the perfect location to host any private event. The theatrical ambience, the sumptuous decor, the central location and outstanding service provide all the right ingredients to make any event spectacularly memorable.
But no event is created by one person alone. Let's revisit the resident team, including our guest designer and their amazing profiles.
Introducing Bjorn. With 25 years of floral artistry, Flip the Venue's award-winning floral expert has an impressive portfolio of clients, catering for high-caliber wedding establishments and restaurants all around Malta and Gozo. Introducing Damian. With worldly experience, he is our decor expert and project manager. No project is too big for Damian and his team. In fact, the larger the event, the better. Constantly working internationally on major projects, there is nothing this man cannot do. Edgar is a force to be reckoned with. A-list celebrity and Hollywood designer to the stars, Edgar has an extensive and impressive client base with over 20 years of experience. He is an exceptional visionary who creates the look and feel of events ranging from the Academy Award Governor's Ball and Grammys to the Disney Hall to movie premieres. And now in Malta as a special guest designer on Flip the Venue. Sarah is a luxury event planner specializing in extravagant weddings and lavish celebrations. Since 2001, Sarah and her team have planned, organized and executed over 1,000 events and weddings. Sarah has an eye for beauty, a commitment to perfection and a talent for detail. This magical touch has attracted some very notable and international famous clients throughout the years.
For who has been following all our series, today we are in the same venue as the first episode. Last time we changed the bistro area downstairs into a beautiful civil ceremony setup. This time we are organizing a corporate event. They have in this venue a lovely gnome bar with high ceilings and historic features. But we are going to change that slightly to do an amazing corporate party. So, Bjorn and Edgar, as usual, welcome of course as always, but as usual, we're opening our box. Edgar, this is your first time with us opening the box. Just to explain, like I like to tell the people at home, this gives away a little bit the color theme.
Okay.
So the people at home already know, ooh, we're talking a lovely shade of pink today. Now, this is our render for today. If you can help me, Edgar, please, let's show the people at home. We have not given too much information. As soon as we start the flip of today, you will see that already the bar at the back usually has alcohol bottles. And we've changed that. What is the brief from the clients? So, we've got some very high profile people who want to do a cocktail reception, mainly to mingle, network and mix. So it's an opening of a week events for them. So this is very important that it starts with a bang. Networking, mingling, as I said, is very important. Dancing too, because dancing always makes people happy and merry and they laugh. Stand-up reception food. So this is important because you don't want to sit at table when you want to network and mingle in a short time frame. Champagne is going to be very important. So let's start, because I'm giving a lot of points. Let's start with the design, Edgar. What inspired you? Because over here, the venue, the room itself was nice as it was freestanding. So what inspired you to help us with this design today?
Correct. So when you first call me and Zoom me about the room and you make a small video and send it, and like, this room was totally done in a beautiful way and was challenging because what are you going to do here? Like, so how am I going to transform this place? How am I going to flip this place? So I say, okay, let's do a little bit more sexy, kind of a jazz club, 1920s, 1930s.
Amazing.
So let's bring more, let's take LED out and let's bring more candle lights.
Yes.
What candle lights reflect on people, and this is a tip for everybody, when you have intimate parties or events in your house or in a venue, to bring candles. Why candles? Because it reflects a beautiful glow on people's skin. Even if you're tired, you have dark eyes and everything at night with a candle looks beautiful.
True. I remember I zoomed him, so from LA to Malta, there's a 9-hour difference, right?
True, yeah.
So he woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was here at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I was going around the whole place, and he's going, whoa, this is the room we need to flip. This is really, really difficult because this is a nice room. I'm going, yes, and I love this room, but we need to flip it, you know?
That was the challenge.
That was the challenge that we had today, very much so. Floral came in a lot in
Yes.
this design. So we've worked together, and we're going to show, like we're showing in this picture,
Quite unusual.
quite unusual and quite a
But
nice
I loved
show.
the design. It
Yes.
was really nice.
Very nice, and you've executed. We'll see now how we're going to execute this. Working with the environment, not against it, is your motto.
Yes.
And I think we did this through this flip, which we're going to show. So let's start the work. Carpet, we must not forget. We did add a carpet to the lovely parquet they already have. Again, because of the sexy feel you wanted to bring in, which is different.
Correct. I was thinking to bring the same kind of color we bring on the flowers also in some part of the room. So I pick up the floor. What instead to go darker or lighter, I will go with the same flow with the flowers. So everything has a conversation.
Yes. Perfect. Let's not say more. Let's leave you there to see the start of this magnificent flip. And we've got 3 hours to do that. So let's leave you with the start.
نزل تاجر نجي لأسك.
Tafri bdejna rolling. And here we are at 6:30 in the morning. You can see from our eyes, no coffee is working. And we're starting the flip of today. Edgar is on his way, but we need to start the prep work before he arrives. Clock, 3 hours, our challenge, our usual challenge. And here we go and set it off. Let's start. cool you are today. Oh my God. Okay, so the carpet, what are we gonna do? Purple in the middle, purple on the side. This is all we have. I will leave you now to some ad breaks, but please don't forget our social media handles, which are Flip the Venue on Facebook and Instagram. We have some great competitions going on and a lot of information for you.
Flip the Venue would like to thank
Fashion and beauty section. Men's fashion on the show wouldn't be right without chatting to our fashion expert, Sam. We welcome you again on the show. You're a resident now, I think, Sam, on this show.
I'm starting to feel as a proper part of the family, so thank you for having me again.
It's a big pleasure, and we're nearing, not the end really, there's quite a bit left, but it's sad in a way because we've become like an extended family, you know. Sam come and talk about fashion, that one talking about food, so it's nice, you know, it's built a nice atmosphere.
I have to say, not just yourself, but obviously the wonderful team behind the scenes who have made this, apart from being very rewarding, extremely enjoyable. So,
yes. And I learned so much. I was away at a conference, I have to tell you this, and someone mentioned double-breasted waistcoats and everything, and I was there going, this, and they're like, how do you know so much? I said, ooh, I have a fashion expert and he taught me. So I've learned a lot as well, and I hope the people at home are enjoying these little snippets of educational parts. So, today's flip is very jazz lounge bar meets 1920s cocktails. I love that. I love this theme, you know.
That era is my favorite. A lot of people, I think, in the TV audience would recognize shows like Boardwalk Empire and Peaky Blinders,
yes,
which are all about that 1920s high jazz period.
How cool, eh?
Yeah.
So that is our team. It is not easy to dress up for it, especially when you say cocktail, because how can you really dress up to that era unless it's a proper themed party? But I would like to know a little bit more on tailor-made suits that are timeless. So it's useless sometimes having, it's nice to have 10, 15, 20 suits. But if somebody wants a timeless suit, can you pinpoint straight away, Sam, what he needs to go for?
Yes, I think let's start with color. So let's not try and be, you know, overly daring, overly outrageous or out there. Black and a blue suit, SB2, and SB2 is a 2-button.
Okay, this is very important to explain because your language is very informative but difficult sometimes.
So when we say SB2, it's single-breasted, 2-button.
Okay.
So single-breasted is similar to the jacket I'm wearing here, not the double-breasted, which comes over. Mm-hmm. And 2-button is 2-button on the front panel as opposed to 3.
And why is that more timeless? It's just classic, more classic?
It's just easier. I think 3-button has its moments of being a fashion statement and it comes in and out of vogue, whereas the SB2 is actually quite timeless, yeah.
Okay, so continuing on the point of buttons. For once and for all, please, can you explain, when you're sitting, do you open the buttons? When you're standing, which one do you close? Can you give us a little bit of a list of to-dos and not to-dos?
Okay, I'm going to start with a not to do because that makes things a little bit easy.
Okay.
The ultimate not to do is never to button the bottom button of a jacket.
Oh.
Whether you are working with a single-breasted 2-button or a single-breasted 3-button, the bottom button never gets done up. So forget this.
Okay. So
when you're
never close the button.
With a 2-button, you button the top button. And you're working with a 3-button, you can button the top 2 or the middle.
Oh, okay. So you have the first and the last one open.
Exactly.
Now, when you're standing, they're buttoned. When you sit, you open.
Exactly. And with a waistcoat, what's very much in vogue at the moment is to leave the bottom button undone. Always. Even when standing and sitting. No.
Standing close, sitting open.
Exactly.
What if you're taking a formal photo sitting? Should that still be open?
It would depend on what look you wanted to come across in the image, but I would always suggest when you're sitting, always go open. Yeah, you're more relaxed, more natural body positions, you feel more comfortable.
Okay, very informative, very good, I like that. Now, typically men have worn hats, braces, pocket watches, okay? What is the etiquette with wearing cool hats? Because hats are in even for men now. Is it ethically correct to go into a place and leave it on inside, or only if you're in an outside venue? Can you help me a bit with these accessories?
I think times are changing. So I think if you go with the traditional rule, it was always a big no-no to wear any kind of hat inside, and an even bigger no-no to wear a hat at table.
Oh, okay.
So I always remember my nana, my grandmother growing up, who was adamant on that rule. Obviously the world is upside down now, so people are doing things
differently.
Very differently, to say it diplomatically. In terms of the hat as a fashion statement or piece, I think it's very similar to the evolution of other classic elements. So you've got, for example, things like Panama hats in summer, which are lovely. You've got bowler hats, which can be worn obviously in winter. Obviously they aren't worn these days. But we just talked about the 1920s theme, didn't we?
Yes, so it would
in
be
that context, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Today, baseball caps seem to have taken the forefront.
To be honest, the group of people we have coming for this event today all seem to like hats. The women and the men, they accessorize a lot with hats. So I've started noticing that it's very in again to wear that accessory as a hat.
Yes, I think the more formal the context is. So if you think about the Ascot races in the UK or Henley Regatta, it is a huge statement for the ladies' piece to be worn alongside a statement hat.
Yes, I'm going to ask you the last question for today, and this is a little bit vague, really. A man can look very suave in a suit, but what is often considered most attractive is his manners. So what makes a man a true gentleman? Wow. Nothing to do with clothing, but I think clothing and manners and etiquette all go hand in hand.
Yeah, they're all part of the same pie. I think it starts with mindset and empathy towards others around you, and taking actions which make that person feel safe, secure, or thought of. So obviously it's exaggerated in the context of a woman when you're a man, so you need to go out of your way, but it's not just the basic things of opening the door or ensuring that you're asking how people are in the morning, saying good morning or good afternoon or good evening.
How important that is, Sam.
It's more than that. The person needs to feel almost like they're being curated and looked after by you. So it could be a gesture when you're out, when they drop, an item of clothing, or they drop their wallet.
And that's a true gentleman. Exactly. And also when you have establishments or go to an establishment, treating people nicely with a certain charisma, making them feel
charisma and kindness.
I think that makes the whole experience then become more true gentlemanly, if that
and it's attention to detail as well. So let's not forget, attention to things that people perhaps may not normally pick up on, yes. Where whoever the receiver of the act is takes a second to think, wow, that was very thoughtful or generous or kind.
I know we ran out of time, but one quick thing. I've noticed your SB monogrammed here, which is the initials for your name. Just thought of something very quickly. Gifting is very hard for men. I know, I've been with my husband for many, many years, and every year it's a nightmare. But I think that's a really good idea, because if you buy a shirt, which you often bought shirts, yes. But you monogram it, it just gives it its personal touch. I had to mention this.
Thank you for pointing it out. I love a monogram shirt. Personalization as a big theme within retail or events is hugely popular now. It's something that I do on every shirt. It can be in different fonts. It can be in different colors.
How cool.
One thing is it definitely makes you stand out vis-a-vis
the other people. Exactly. And it's a perfect gift to do.
It's
you buy anything gift. And you monogram it. So you need to find outlets that can give you this, because this is a very good gift idea. Thank you, Sam. You always come up with the original ideas, and I know the products you offer are amazing because they always have that special touch. So I'll leave you here today, and thank you for all your expert info. excited. A very good friend of mine in the industry, who I'm very lucky to call a friend.
Hello, my name is Edgar Zamora. I'm an event designer in Hollywood, California.
He is helping me with the design and all the team of this lovely event. We are organizing a VIP trip for some VIPs coming over. He is a lovely person. He does VIPs all over the world.
And I came to Malta to work on Flip.
It is so nice to work with him. He is very humble, although he's so huge and big in the industry, and he has amazing ideas. So today I'm very excited.
So today we have this special designer that came from abroad, and he is fantastic. And so he designed this place in a way that has to look sexy. So we're using those vibrant colors.
Today colors, they're very unique. We combine fuchsias and deep purple. So it's not an usual combination, but at the end of the day, it really works together. And with the lighting, what is the icing on the cake, it will be awesome.
We don't really have a lot of flowers everywhere, but what we have is the bar. We create two large arrangements, one on each side, that falls down from the bar to the floor. Asparagus leaf, which is already sprayed in different shades of colors. And then we have small things on the tables to complement the rest, and the photo booth, which will consist of these huge boxes. Some of them are going to be of mirrors, and some of them are going to be covered with this flowers, greenery sprayed and things.
I would like to remind you to check out our social media handles, Flip the Venue, Facebook and Instagram. New ideas, lovely reels, and also very good competitions. So don't forget to go there.
Flip the Venue would like to thank
We have a couple challenges tonight to flip the venue, and one of the big challenges was introduce a different way to have a stage in a room. Instead to have it on the side, we're going to have in the middle, and so everybody can see all the way around 360 degrees. So the way I designed that is to have rotated the stage. Very unusual. I have it done a long time ago for Oscar party, a governance ball. So also, it's not for me a challenge to create a rotating stage. It's very challenging for the artists because it's unusual for them to be turning around one way or other. And this is what I like about events. I like to do unique things because I think it's very important for the host and the guests to go back home and say, oh wow, remember that? Was so cool, so different, and this is what we're looking for.
Just like most things, there are a number of moving parts that need to come together in a harmonious way, and putting together a party is no different. Food and beverage are of essence. To talk to us more about this, please welcome Danny, the CEO of this gorgeous venue. Thank you, Danny, for your time.
Good to see you.
It's been long coming, but finally I have you here. I know you have a lot of experience in the catering industry. I believe you were a chef for many years as well.
I was, yeah, in Australia and London.
So this is amazing, actually, having a chef who can speak to our audience and even speak more detailed, because this slot, I always like to say, is more informative to help the people at home organize from a small party at home to a big event of theirs. So I'm always impressed how a chef changed into the banqueting area, because it's not an easy move.
Front of house.
Front of house, that's what we say. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I love being a chef, and it was kind of a natural progression from being an executive chef at Park Hyatt Sydney, where I used to work before, and then going into a sort of general manager role in an F&B establishment, and that's what I've been doing for the last...
And you're very good at it, I can say. I've worked a lot with you. So, Danny, keep up the very good work. So, let's start with a series of questions I've prepared for you. So, magic ingredients to hosting the perfect party. What are they?
I think there's quite a few. Venue, it's obviously very important.
You start from the venue, time of year.
Time of year, you know, whether it's going to be obviously be an outside event, inside event. You know, people like to discuss budgets. Obviously, it's very important to make sure they're comfortable with what they, you know, want to do. And then, obviously, entertainment. For me, it's always about the F&B. So
I think food and beverage
it's the most important.
Are crucial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very important. And they play the most important part of the role, and the budget.
Very important, so that, you know, you can basically push everyone's expectations with the budget at hand. So it's important.
It's a difficult situation as well sometimes, Danny, because people don't have the budget for what they're envisaging to have. So this is something we need to keep in mind. If you want a very lavish and a very extended event, with a lot of hours and a lot of food, then you have to have the budget for it.
Correct.
Miracles are not possible.
No.
So it's important.
I mean, they're the kind of events that I like to do, but obviously, you know, it would just depend on what people's expectations are, and we can you have to be very flexible and tailor-make events, as I know that you do. Depending on what you know, the clients want.
And the venue, it's very important that they can tailor-make and adjust to every client, because every client is totally different.
Every event's different.
Exactly. So my next question to you today is, the trend at the moment is to have something a little bit different in every event. Signature cocktails, what is in, what is not? Are you being asked for this? What can the people at home learn from this? What can they do?
Yes, I mean, people love to have a special touch to their events. You know, we offer lots of different options here. Champagne cocktails, premium gins and vodkas are really important now with the specialty mixes.
It's true, and they want special mixes to go with them, and then they can team it up if it's a corporate event, if it's a birthday, if anybody watching us from home, even if they just have an anniversary, they can have a welcome drink, which is tailor-made with their favorite drinks.
And the days of having a tray with just a generic glass on there, those days are gone. Now we need to show people mixing drinks live, shaking things to order, pouring champagnes and Proseccos.
Yes, mixologists.
Yes, it's really important.
And in today's program, actually, Danny, we did a big thing with champagne, which we will show a little bit later, but you know, we've built a big tower and it's going to be a show as sort of an entertainment part. So the beverage has become entertainment.
I think it's the
very
key.
Important.
Mixology is all about, you know, the senses, watching as well as tasting. You know, it's a show.
Yes, and this is very important. It's going to, in fact, we incorporated it in the event of tonight as a major part of it. And that is a big thing, that a beverage becomes the attraction in the evening, right?
Exactly.
So we love our food here in Malta. How important is it to diversify with canapes? Yes, we've spoken a lot in this series about seated dinners, and they're still now popular even more because during the era of the past 2 years, people have gone to seated events. But now they love going back to stand-up. So how important is it to be diverse with canapes?
I think the whole thing of having stand-up events is that social interaction. So for me, canapes are a great way to showcase the chef's skills, but also I like to do food stations. So you could have oysters being shucked to order, you can have hot dishes being grilled a la minute.
Wow.
So it gives
Getting me hungry.
Yeah, but it's more of a an interactive thing, so that the chefs and they can showcase their skills, and the clients can see things being done rather than just a canapé party where things are passed around. So I think it's a nice mix to do live stations and also have that.
And
canapé.
guests like to talk to the chefs. So
Very
what
much.
you're doing, what this is doing, that's how you're doing it, like they're experts,
And they get ideas for themselves. Oh, that's really, I wouldn't have thought of doing that, but that's a good take. And it builds to the night.
Obviously, you need to have the premises to do this,
Yes.
because if you don't have a live area where the chef can cook in front of people, this
Open
cannot
air
be done.
is very good for that,
Yes.
on rooftops or in open spaces.
Especially in summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, what are your thoughts on themed parties and the no thing a dress code?
I think everyone likes to dress up.
Yeah.
Black tie is something special. Maybe it's not, every weekend because it's too much.
Yes.
But I think people love that element. So when it's a real sort of black tie event, and then when it's a theme night where people can really engage with each other, and it becomes very much of a fun thing.
I think it's important because it gives the guests a deeper thought into where they're going. Oh, did you know it's a 70s night?
It can be a headache.
Yeah.
But it can also be,
fun. But you can just get one accessory and you're automatically teamed up,
That's it, yeah.
A wig for the men usually, or sunglasses. So if you don't want to go the mile, you can just accessorize it. But I know you have been involved, and so have I with you, in some lovely themed parties, and it's nice to see people dress up to the occasion. I think it becomes a bit of the accessories and the decor of the night as well.
It is. You can theme the location, if it's an indoor, if it's an outdoor, and obviously people, when you need to give them that, when they walk in, it's like, wow.
Wow. Yes.
What a place, because it's been done in such a way.
Yeah, they feel they fit in that era.
Yeah.
Okay, music and entertainment. Obviously we are in Valletta here, so there are rules for Valletta different to Mdina. There are rules for St. Julian's different from Hazebuch, so different areas have different rules and regulations.
Sure.
However, how important is it that music and all the people planning something know their music limitation? Because a rooftop might have a different time as the inside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what you can do inside is freedom. I mean, as long as the music is kept to a certain level. Outdoors, for me, is in summer in Malta, in Valletta for sure. The rooftops are the best places. I think if you have a venue that doesn't have a lot of residents around, it's a lot easier.
Yes.
But obviously you've got to make sure that you keep that into consideration.
Yes,
because
so it's important. If they want a party to go until 4 in the morning, that's one of the first questions they need to ask when they're picking the first thing, which is the venue.
It all has to start with common sense. It's like, what do you want to do? And what are the expectations here? And then we can tailor it. We can say, we can do this music to this time. And then after that, it should be...
Yes. I will close off with this, but it's a very important point, Danny, because it's not the first time that our clients or other clients or people watching can get this as a tip, that if you want your party to last longer, maybe you should shift to a lunch event rather than an evening, because then you have no limitation if the venue has music limits till 11 or 12. So this is something to keep in mind. Maybe if you want to go longer on hours, then shift it to a lunch rather than an evening.
I think very, very good point. Long lunches, especially in Malta.
Oh, we love them.
Especially near the weekend.
Yes.
They work so well because you obviously start off, you have great food.
Yeah.
You have some nice entrees and mains desserts. Then you can trickle up to having a proper party.
And by 11 be in bed.
Exactly.
I will end with this. Thank you so much, Danny. You were very,
pleasure.
very informative sector. And thank you for being with us and having patience with us when we approved
My
this
pleasure.
place.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, did we have any challenges? I'll start with you, Edgar. Did you have any challenges with today?
My challenge today was, one thing is to see a picture or a video or a Zoom call, but always is something last minute. I like to adjust. My challenge was lighting this time, because we have a lot of light bulbs through the room.
52.
You're right. What a memory. How you can keep all the details in your head. It's amazing. Like, this is why they call you the queen.
Okay, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
You are. You're the queen of events and weddings in Malta. So, the challenge was the lighting. So I want to change all the light bulbs in the chandeliers and on the sconces through the walls. And it was last minute, and we have to do 52, like you say.
Yeah.
And I wanted in pink or purple, and of course we couldn't find it. But at the meantime, we dimmed down the lighting, and we found the solution.
Yes.
And the candle did the effect as well.
So it was a challenge, but he found the solution for the challenge. I tried everything. I tried buying pink bulbs. I tried finding gels from suppliers to cover them.
Correct.
But we didn't manage. And he only could see this really and truly when he came to Malta, which was just a few hours before we started. So it was impossible to do this change.
I was almost out of the plane when I got here.
Yeah, exactly, true. So that was a challenge, but you came up with a brilliant idea. All the LEDs were gone, more candles were put in, so the atmosphere became dimmer and nicer. So really and truly, what we would change, because my last question to you is, what would we have changed? I think the challenge we had and what we would change today was very similar.
Yes.
Although in the challenge part, I would have said the flooring was a challenge for me, because things have to flow so methodolocal, one after the other. You can't start flowers before the furniture is moved, the carpet is in, the carpet takes time. Right. That's a challenge, I think, for me.
And you have to do things carefully as well.
Yeah. The place is old, you have to take care of the furniture. This is very expensive furniture, there is over here, so you have to respect everywhere. You have to respect the property you're in, you have to be careful, and it's not easy to get everything done so fast.
A lot of people as well, you have to be careful that everyone is
At a point we didn't have where to turn.
True.
There was somebody here, somebody there, with, limited space.
Yeah, but you did something very clever, and what you always do, and I see in your work, you do an excellent timeline.
Yeah.
So we didn't work one on top of each other. Yes, we work all together, but it really, really works like a clock.
Yes,
right?
One thing after the other. Yes. It was so nice working together. And you have more surprises coming, because we have a few more episodes with this amazing gentleman and all of us working together. Damian's men were obviously involved today, but he's not here, unfortunately, today to talk about it. But we obviously thank his team as well for everything coming together. So, I will leave you here today. Thank you, gentlemen. I love this flip. Very original, very difficult in my opinion, but very original, with your help, with your input, with everything put together. So thank you very much. I will leave you here today, but I must remind you to check out our social media handles, which are Flip the Venue on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, tips, images, reels, and great competitions. I'll leave you today and see you next week.
Flip the Venue is proudly brought to you by Alberta and Diz Group. Flip the Venue would like to thank Alfie's Hair Salon for Sarah's hair and makeup, Elisabetta Franchi, Diz Group for Sarah's clothes, and Vortex for Bjorn and Damian's clothes.